Welcome to the Founder Fumbles podcast, where we go deep into real life entrepreneur struggles and comeback strategies. I'm your host, Dahmari Taplin, and today we are joined by the founder and CEO of Kemcare, the founder of PrimeCleanGlobal, Naturopathic Doctor, clinical researcher, coach, consultant, and a family mediator. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Emelda. Um,
Hi, good morning.
Did I say
You tried.
your name right? It's Emelda, right?
It's Emelda.
Emelda.
Correct.
Okay, thanks for correcting me. So where are you from? Where are you from and where are you right now?
I'm from Arizona. I live in East Mesa in Arizona, and that is where I'm from, and that's where I live, and that's where my strength was shaping,
Mhm.
and my purpose grew in Arizona, where my journey of healing and leadership began.
Okay, okay. So what is this Kim Care? Kim Care. That's your business, right?
Correct.
So what exactly is it? Can you tell us more about it?
Kemcare is more than a service to me, and it's a movement. It was built to support families and restore balances, empower people physically, emotionally, and mentally. And it's my work to blend health, and that's why, I'm kind of into the healthcare system and wellness, education, and compassion to serve many people around that could feel and being seen, heard, and supported at every step of their life.
Okay. So you are also a how do you say that? Naturopathic doctor,
Correct.
right? Am I saying that correctly? Naturopathic?
You are saying that you tried.
Okay, so
Naturopathic doctor, yeah.
okay. So what does that mean exactly? Like, what do you do?
So I'm into natural medicine. So I assist individuals that are going through any healthcare issues being, sorted out naturally. I'm specializing in women fertility, men fertility, and mental health. So I assist to get them through with natural ways. And it could be taking anything that is natural to be able to restore themselves. If you look at the history of natural medicine, it's not just natural medicine as a bold ways as people sees it. And the histories of our forefathers, you can see that there was no hospitals as
Yeah,
such. There was no clinics. We do not have like surgeons as part say people do, but they were living in natural things that sustain them to the ultimate ages of 100, 90s, 80s. But these days, I am not saying the medical is wrong. Don't quote me that. But these days, we have a situation whereby a lot of people are actually living less than what our forefathers are living. And it's a result of we are not actually building up the natural medicine itself forward. We are
yeah.
not talking much about it. So it is high time people kind of, sit down, get into it and see that natural medicine shouldn't be left behind because those roots that were being taken by our forefathers are really actually working and has been helping them. And you see them even more healthier than even people of now. Those days, there's nothing like obesity as such. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it wasn't as much as that. We're not having like fertility problems and stuff like that, or issues of mental health. Somebody saying they're so depressed. Not every situation at that moment, but the accuracies right now is so high. So natural medicine is something that has blended into orthodox medicine to assist. As you're handling your orthodox medicine, which is the medical aspect, can actually be taking care of itself naturally.
Okay, so all right. So basically you make medicine, natural medicine for men's fertility, women's fertility, and mental health, right?
I don't make them, but I work with you naturally to get better.
Okay, naturally. So what is your most natural, what is the number one method that you can recommend? The natural method. Like if you can give some people like one piece of advice today, what would that be?
Mhm. Okay, the piece of advice is going to be, let's, for example, you are having issue with fertility problem, like say as a woman, maybe you do not see your period, and like giving that example, first and foremost, as a natural medicine doctor, what I'm gonna first give you as a piece is we want to be able to make sure that you are not too overweight inside of you, whereby, okay, let's start with doing a few exercise, avoids too much of stress. And we're going to place you on a supplements and then some herbs that we're going to actually ask you to make. Those herbs could come in like a tea where you have to be drinking them maybe in the morning and in the afternoon. And also taking a walk, being around people that are positive minded, because positive minded people attract those things to you, and it's part of natural things. And with that way, we can tell you that within 90 days, whatever you're going through that could be making you not to conceive, we will make sure that we reduce the percentage to at least 70 to 80% down. Because by the time we're done working with you through Kemcare, we'll make sure that you're okay to conceive. And that's now, except if it's in a situation where the ovaries are not working much, or maybe there's a rupture or something, and that could be handled medically. But if you're okay or you're going through PCOS or something like that, we can work around it to make sure you can save. So the basic piece of advice there will be there is nothing that cannot be fixed except death.
Except what? You say death?
Death, like when you die.
Oh,
When
death.
you're
Okay.
dead,
Okay.
this
That's
that
the only
cannot be
thing.
fixed. But as long as you're on earth, yes, everything can be fixed.
Yeah, okay. So you also have it seems like I can tell that that's truly your passion right there. Is
Mm.
that's what you're passionate about, but I also saw that you have like a cleaning service or something like that. You do something with a cleaning service?
Yes.
So what kind of what things do you clean?
So we do with residential and commercial companies. We clean from ordinary to as extended as it is. And we always believe that cleanliness is next to godliness. So we want your home to be clean. We want you to be clean, not just your whole body, but your surroundings needs to be clean because your body also works along with the surroundings. So whatever has you take care of your health, take care of your environment.
Okay.
So we operate with a high level of discipline and professionalism and attention to details.
So yeah, it kind of probably goes along with, you being a doctor. You know what I mean? Because if we're not, I'm not gonna say you being a doctor, but your services that you provide, because you need a clean house as well to have um, to be right mentally. You also gotta have a
Mhm.
clean house, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't you
definitely.
can't you can't operate like professionally in like a dirty home because it just doesn't feel right, you know?
Yeah, and that's the truth fact is that, so I got to have this idea by one of the Chinese doctor that trained me and one of my classes, and he said, when you are having a clean environment and you're going through health problem, believe it or not, that the decrease in that health issue will be a little bit down.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, positivity comes into clearness and your mental health will start thinking towards a better situation. But when everything is so messed up, like the whole place is crazy, and he'll overwhelm. You start thinking of negative, being depressed. So many things will start falling off.
Yeah.
So
So
after looking at
did you
most of
say
the
you
things,
were did you say you were trained by a Chinese doctor?
one of the classes I took, a
Okay. It was a
Chinese
Chinese doctor.
doctor,
I used
was my professor.
yeah, I used to live in China, and one thing that I learned was that it's better to drink like hot liquids instead of cold liquids, because they believe that that you got to keep the flow
Mhm.
in within your body. So hot liquids kind of increases the flow, while cold liquids, makes things get stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was one thing I learned, and to this day, like my wife drinks like hot water and stuff. She doesn't even
Mhm.
water, just because it helps with the flow, whether it's blood flow or flow through your stomach or whatever. But yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
mean because I know you drink it probably whatever, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I actually advise people that are pregnant to actually take warm water every morning
Hmm.
because it's actually safe and good for them versus taking cold water. And that's one of the training I got. So it's true and it works.
So let me ask you a question. Are you doing all of this by yourself? You like, or do you have like a business partner or co-founder or something like that?
No, I don't have a co-founder. I am doing this all by myself. I believe in building myself from the ground. That's my belief. So I started this all by myself without nobody being involved.
So wait, hold on, wait. So you went through this whole experience being a doctor by yourself. Also, the cleaning service, you do all that by yourself. You don't
Yes,
share. So what about the skills that you lack, like marketing? You might be great at marketing. I'm not sure. I saw you had a lot of followers on Instagram, but um, what about like the finance side of things or the organizational side of things or not operational side of things, what I meant, sorry. What about all of that stuff?
As an expert like me, I didn't just start, boom, I started from somewhere. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my educational journey that made me to divide into these. I started with my bachelor's in healthcare administration, worked a little bit in the healthcare as an administrator for a while. And then I went back to study holistic health. And the reason why I studied holistic health started when I was in a deployment. And I found out that I was depressed myself and deployment in the military. And I have my other colleagues been, going through the same depression, trauma, and everything. I felt like somebody has to bring a solution. Even though there was solutions out there for us, you have to go to the VA, go with mental health, whatever, see it.
Hmm.
It wasn't enough. You have to rebuild yourself by yourself. And whether you like it or not, I can tell you the fact that even though you have someone that is there to assist you, the journey starts from you. So I decided to okay, I gotta get to school for this. I went ahead and do my master's in public health, and then went again to do my master's in natural medicine, then my doctorate and PhD in natural medicine. Currently, I'm doing my third master's in clinical and mental health counseling. So, with all this, and I had some certification here and there, I chose to be like, a change has to come. I will say my depressive act and those around me while in deployment took me to the history of this journey in my education because at the time I couldn't find the right solution. But after going to school and reading and doing all that, I figured out that there is a solution within me, not just only depending on the doctors and practitioners there, but I also have to put my own effort in it. So I decided to invest on Kemcare, which was to have it as a health awareness and be able to help people out there that are also are going through the same I have been through. So basically, this is my calling. I'm going to be very honest with you. I have a passion in it and I love to do this. I love to help people and I love hearing people's stories and voices out there. One of the things I've realized on within this planet is when people speak out, sometimes they feel like I can't speak out because I'll be talked about. No, you're not going to be talked about. Speak out because when you are alive, we'll be able to hear your story and be able to resolve it. When you're dead, this chapter is closed. So the best advice I always give to people out there, and that is what made me to feel like I have to do this without looking for a co-founder or looking for them the financial aspects to do it. I built it from zero and I grew it to where it is now because it is a passion I have. It is what I want to do. So at the moment, I just need to make sure that every person coming towards us, both in Kemcare, both in Prime Clean, are getting the services they deserved.
So do you not believe that, having like a partner, someone that shares the passion with you, that can do other things that you can't, like you'll grow faster or kind of go to the next step, or would you rather just continue being like a solopreneur or, because the reason I'm asking is because, from entrepreneurship, learn that, you can go further faster with a partner, or you can simply make it to the next step in, with your business and stuff. So that's why I was asking. I just wanted to, I want to know if that, do you also believe that, or would you ever be open to having a partner?
So I don't have an issue having a partner, okay? But the thing about it is sometimes when you're talking about what you have passion about, you are trying to make sure that everyone is getting the service. I'm not saying having a partner is a bad thing, but are they willing to put that commitment, as I'm gonna put in there, and not just only about the money? Because even to be honest with you, sometimes when people don't have the money to pay for the services, I let them do it
Mhm.
for free. You see what I'm saying? Will my partner be able to accept us to do something like that and not just be
Yeah.
concerned more about? So you see what I'm saying? So it's a passion. It's not about just the money aspect. I know everybody wants to grow. You want to be a millionaire. You want to do whatever you're doing. But at the end of the tunnel, the services you're giving out, the legacy you're putting out there is more than 1 million that you will definitely make. Okay, so it's a blessing. So I have been through it, and somebody blessed me by making me go through some processes without collecting a dime. So it's
Mhm.
high time. So the thing about partnership is understanding if you're going to be or willing to work with the other partner. So
Yeah.
accepting a co-founder is not a problem, but is the co-founder willing to grow with you and do the same version, have the same vision you have, not just about the money, but the vision to build a good legacy. That's the most important thing to me. I am somebody that have balanced multiple businesses even before Kemcare, and I still believe on healing. I still believe on learning every day, and I'm still growing. So with you as a co-founder, be willing to still be on that movement. So that's the most thing that is more passionate about me. So if anyone wants to call me and say, hey, you know what, I want to be a co-founder along with you, I want to see that mindset of being passionate about what you're doing.
Right. Okay. So what's been like your biggest challenge as a as a founder, as a business owner? What's been like your biggest challenge?
Of course, the marketing decisions and structuring it, and some few responsibility because I had to carry so many hats on me. Those were my biggest challenges as of then, trying to know how to maneuver, how do we go about it? Where do we market to? Who do we speak to? How do people get convinced that we can do this better than the biggest companies that have been existing?
Hmm.
So those
What do
were
you, so what do you, how do you overcome those challenges? Like, what did you do? Are you still having those challenges or what?
no, I was positive, and at first I started by basically not even allowing people to pay. So instead of you coming for a section for maybe $80 or $90 per section, I gave it to like $10, $20. Give us a try, see what, if you feel like you can still work with us, we go from there. And we could do this trial for 90 days with them, which was what I started with. And we were also marketing in different places and also putting it on the system, signed up with a lot of lead, whatever, tried to convince them as much, did a lot of telemarketing calls. It was a day night work.
Mhm.
Now, at the end of it, you still have to believe in yourself. You still have to be positive. And one thing that I decided to say to myself is I will never give up. I keep going straight and I keep moving. And that is what actually brought my challenges from 100 to zero. And we're
Yeah.
actually doing great now.
Right. So what keeps you going? Like what keeps you motivated to like keep moving?
I would say whatever that keeps me going is allow myself to see that I have grace in me
Hmm.
and that somebody out there is waiting and is willing for me to say something to them. So I have to spread the message out there. I have to make sure that even though I'm unable to send it out there to as many, like a lot of, but the few people that could hear from it or that could get the message or they could get the healing out from me. You
Hmm.
know, one thing I know is they're always appreciative and they're very thankful that they met me. Or one way or the other, we tell ourselves there's a reason why God made us to know each other. So I'll say allowing that myself is full of grace. That is what keeps me motivated.
Okay. So what about like any daily routines or anything? Do you have like any daily routines that you do, like waking up and doing something? Or not even waking up, but do you have any daily routines?
Morning prayers, quiet reflection, take a walk. Um, I cannot do anything without God. Every day, first thing I do, which is my first priority, is say my prayers. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this day. So many people didn't have the opportunity to see this day. Some people in the hospital, they're not better than you and I. But look at us here. We're doing great. We're standing in the midst of. So I thank God. I pray for those that are sick, those that are looking for one thing or the other for God to grant them their heart desires. I say that prayer and then I set my intentions for the day. We all call it things to do list. And then another thing is I identify my top priorities. What are the first three things I need to do that needs to make things positive and keep flourishing? Then another good thing I always do is trying to do what is called awareness activities, exercise, take a walk, whatever that could make my body and mind together. I try to
Yeah.
do those. And at the end of the day, I close my day with gratitude
Hmm.
even though some days could be bad. But I have realized in this art that when your days are bad, be grateful, show gratitude, because those bad days are those things that make you to be higher than what you are before. The more challenges you go through in life, the more greatness and the more upliftment you're going to go far. Because
Hmm.
those challenges are just obstacles that the Lord is trying to give to you and tell you, I want to see how strong you are. Can you overcome them? The more you overcome, the more you become a leader, the more you become superior. So let's tell people no matter what your day looks like, show gratitude. And at the end of the day, you will see that the sky will always be the tunnel that you will look back and say, I'm grateful to God for giving me this opportunity.
Right,
So
right. Okay, that was beautiful. So what's coming out? What's next? What next do you have? I know you just saw that we have 10 minutes left, but so I want to know like what's next for you on your entrepreneur journey. What's next? Do you have anything new coming out?
yeah, I would say so many things are on board, and right now I'm building up as much as I can. I'm trying to get into a nonprofit for women that are going through mental health, that needs help. And I understand I need to do it both men and women, but when we check majority, we see that a lot of women that could be pregnant going to postpartum, situations like that, the mental health are always. So I'm trying to build up a nonprofit and also working towards me going into a political career. If I just don't want to handle an entrepreneur aspect. I also want my voice to be heard out there as also a political person. So
No,
I'm
that
looking
that's
forward to that.
yeah, no, that's a great goal to have. Getting into
Yeah.
politics and speaking as a political person, that's crazy. That's crazy. I couldn't
Yeah.
do that. I couldn't do it.
Well, it takes courage, it takes courage. And one thing is you have to be outspoken, you have to be courageous, you have to stand, you have to make sure that you have to act like a leader, not just acting like a leader, you have to show it and you have to know that resilience matters in every situation of your life. So I tell myself every day, if I could do this to myself and my life could get better, I could do it out there and thousands of people's life could get better. So
Right.
I decided to tell myself, I just don't want my voice to really be heard just in a little small community. I want my voice to be heard in a bigger way.
Mm, beautiful. But yeah, that's all the questions that I have for you today. Last question is where can we find you? What's your LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever you
Yeah.
have? however you want people to reach out to you, share it.
Yeah, they can actually find me on Facebook. My Facebook account is Emelda Cyril and Emelda, and last name there is Cyril.
Okay.
So they can actually find me out there. I'm also on Instagram, and but I actually function more on my Facebook than Instagram.
Okay.
And then I'm on TikTok, but my TikTok is official at Dr. Emelda. I'm still building that up. But yeah, excuse me.
Okay.
You can
So,
actually find me on Facebook more.
okay. And will we be able to find you on the Zika app or no?
I think I should be. We're gonna have to join that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
We
I'll
have no
send you.
choice.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to the Zika app, and
Yeah.
so after here, you have to give me your Facebook stuff so I can plug it into the description. But
Okay.
anyway, Emelda, thank you. That's a wrap for today's episode. Just thank you so much for joining us today. And everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and for driving and all that stuff. But please, please, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And share this with one of your friends, somebody who you think would benefit from the story. Please share it. But that's it for today's episode. Until next time, peace.